me, you me, Louie T. Welcome to this LouieTeeNetwork exclusive kickback session, week number 13 in the National Football League. So this is where, to me, the real fun begins. You've gone through the treachery that is the first, 3 quarters of the season. This is the back end. This is when shit gets real. This is when all the work that you've put in on the front 3 quarters sets you up to be victorious on the back quarter, right? So now, if you haven't been consistent, if you haven't gotten it done, it's almost like the NFL season, right? If your team hasn't been consistent, you've lost games you shouldn't have lost, you're at the point now where you're talking about the draft. You're talking about the offseason. You're not talking about meaningful games in December and into January. If you haven't been consistent in this thing, winners and losers, you're talking about the picks that didn't go your way and how maybe I'll get them next year. If you're in the survivor pool, this is the longest a survivor pool has ever gone. We've never had one go past Thanksgiving before. So, but it makes sense because this is the biggest survivor pool pot that we've ever had. So all of that makes perfectly good sense. But we did lose another soldier last week, so we're down to 3, okay? So shit's getting hot and heavy in the survivor pool and weekly pick'em pool. I was pleased at how many people played on Thanksgiving. I've had years where 3 people played, 2 people played, nobody plays on Thanksgiving. We still had a nice sizable pot, so shout out to everybody who played on Thanksgiving, and it was the closest one we've had this season. It literally went down to like 4 people in points. So it was hyper competitive. This week was really competitive. It's always, to me, a lot of fun when there's 16 games, right? When there's a full slate, nobody's on a bye week. You have more options, more opportunities to gain ground, by making smart picks or just having shit go in your favor. Let's call it what it is. The NFL is so unpredictable, right? Anyway, I digress. We're going to start off with the survivor pool as we always do here on the kickback session. I want to say good evening to everyone who's joining me out there in the comment section right now. So let's take a look at our survivor pool standings. And as you can see, we are down to just 3 because we had an eliminated participant this week. We'll get there in a second, but shout out to the 3 that remain through 12 weeks heading into week 13. Again, this is the longest a survivor pool has gone on. No survivor pool had made it past week 10 ever. And to have one go through Thanksgiving and still have 3 people survive, amazing. And so I haven't had to think this stuff out because we've never gone this far. And trust me, all 3 of you aren't going to survive to the end. But just in the event that 2 of you do, all 3 of you do, but let's just go with a hypothetical. All 3 of you make it to the finish line somehow, which is going to be impossible. So you're going to lose a game, right? But let's just say you all do. What I've come up with, because I've never had to think this all the way through, because nobody ever survives all the way through a survivor pool. So I've already told you, if everyone's eliminated in the same week, all of you plus the house will split the money. Okay, so we've already come up with that solution so that everybody gets something. I don't think it's fair that the house take all the money. This isn't Vegas, okay? I want you guys who participated and lasted this long to get something. What I've decided that is, if you guys make it to the finish line, which I can't see happening, but you do, I'm taking the house out of it. The house didn't win, and you would just split the money between the 3 of you, right? Same would apply if 2 of you make it to the finish line and survive. You 2 would split the money, okay? And the house wouldn't be involved. The house only comes into play if you don't survive, right? That's it. So that's how we'll do that. And I think what I would do ultimately in the future, as this thing gets bigger and bigger, is what I'll do is, if somehow you manage to survive all the way through, I'll double the money. Like, you know what would be really dope? And maybe that's what I'll adopt moving forward into the future. It won't be this year, obviously. Say the survivor pool's over in week 15. You win by yourself. The pot's $1,360. You could take the $1,360 and run, or you could see if you can make it all the way through 18 weeks of ball. And if you do manage to make it through without stepping on a landmine, I'll double the $1,360. I'll make it $2,720, and you're walking home with double the money. Now, if you lose, you step on a landmine, you get nothing. That would be pretty dope. Maybe I'll do that moving forward next year. That's almost like game show-ish, which is pretty funny, which is actually dope when you think about it. But you got to make a decision. Hey, I got this bread right now. I earned it. I want it. Do I want to risk it? Or do I just want to take my money that I earned and get out of here? It's hard enough as it is to get to the point where you win. I don't know if you'd be crazy enough to try to double it, but if you're a betting man, a lot of you like to, get on these apps, and a lot of you like to roll the dice. It's one thing to do it with a $25 wager, right? It's one thing to do it. You put up a parlay and you spent $10. It's another thing when you're betting $1,200, right? Anyway, so that's what we'll do. So Mike Lowry survived with the Dolphins. I'm not even sure how he still had the Dolphins to use, which is incredible in itself, which means he's done a masterful job kind of navigating through this thing. BB took the Ravens. It was not easy, but the Ravens got it done, and thus he survives to week 13 as well. Billy Bronco, again, I don't know how he had Philadelphia left, but smart man, because when I used Philadelphia, they lost the only game they've lost this season. Go figure, right? He uses the Eagles, and he had to sweat it out, man. He thought he was eliminated probably 2 or 3 times, but in typical Eagles fashion, they found a way to win, and so Billy Bronco survives another week. Unfortunately, Juice could not say the same about the Minnesota Vikings. He probably thought he was going to survive when they got that late touchdown to take the lead 10-9. And when Justin Fields fumbled for the second time, he probably thought, let's go, Minnesota. And he didn't see how the game was going to end, where the Vikings essentially acted as if they won after the second fumble, shut it down, and ultimately lost the game 12-10. And unfortunately, Juice no longer has the juice. He's been eliminated, and thanks for playing. So, hell of a run, but he's done. Now, 3 remain. Bronco Billy, BB, and Mike Lowry are all that remain in the 11th annual Soul Survivor pool. Good luck. You're going to need it. All right. So, hell of a run for all 3 of you. Remember, all results are up on the Linktree website. You guys have all the links that you need to go perusing through there. So if you want to follow along, you can. If you want to go analyze this stuff on your own, you can, etc., etc. Next, we move into the weekly pick'em pool. So we'll get into that quickly. And I'm upset about this one. I'm not going to even hold y'all. I'm pissed off about this one because I thought I was going to win this one, and I didn't. And I wanted the extra pocket change. I wanted the extra 70 whatever bucks. Let me see how much it is this week. I wanted it bad. Like I wanted this one probably the second most, outside of the one where Bet the Board was talking shit, and I wanted that one the worst this year. And I came up like, I think 1 game short with Bet the Board, or point. I might even came down to the points and I didn't get it done. But I won the week after that, though. I told you, woke up the lion, and I wanted this one, and I was close. And I'm pissed off because I thought I had picked the Jaguars, and that was really the difference. If I'd picked Jacksonville, I think I would have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I would have won. I would have had 3 losses instead of 4. But big time. I don't know why it says Biff time. Big time. took home the trophy in week number 12, won 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 75. Nice piece of Thanksgiving change, man. A 75 spot. I wanted it bad. I will be sending your money directly to you right after this is done. It came down to points. I had 43. I was right under him, Jive Turkey. And I had 4 losses, just like he did, but I had 43 points, and the game was 12-10. I didn't see coming. I thought it was going to be 23-20. So much for that. So, and there are at least 2 other people that were in it, I think, with 4 losses. I think there might have been one more person with 4 losses, but again, the points was the key, and he was the lowest at 38. So, in effect, he was the closest. So he takes home the $75. Shout out to Big Time for getting it done. All right. Really disappointed. If I'd have picked Jacksonville like I thought I did, I would have won. I picked Houston. I swore I had Jacksonville on that one, but I didn't. So such is life. All right. So we move on. Shout out once again to Big Time for getting it done and getting the bread. All right. And then last but not least, surely not least, we have winners and losers, right? So I just want to say, I'm not 100% sure who has the piss cup, but I will say, and you'll know why I said this when we get there, life comes at you fast. Life does come at you fast. And I'll leave it at that for now. Let's go through winners and losers, results from week 12. Before we do that, I want to first alert you of color from last week. So as you can see, Rich was our one of our high men last week. Matter of fact, him and Silver V were the 2 high point men last week, Rich and Silver V. You had Smack City still holding on to first, but Soul was putting tons of pressure on him, right? And cut the deficit to just 1 game. But Smack City was still in first, Soul possession of second. And then you had Gridiron King, Rich, and J Cam Man all tied for third last week. Okay. And then Samuel Pando was your Piss Cup recipient a week ago. So that was the color from week 11. Now you head to week 12, and we'll just do a quick scan. And you can see there's a lot more color up here. A lot of ties, a lot of people getting back into the mix. And I will also say that the 2 at the top have separated themselves from the rest of the pack. So even though you see a lot of color here and you're in second place, you're still off the pace by, 3, 4, 5 games. Like, they've separated themselves. It's not like, you're in second and you're like, yes, I'm in second, and you can see them. You may be able to see them, but if they're looking out their rearview mirror, they don't really see you all that much. You might be able to see them, but they don't really see you because they've created some distance. So you still got work to do if you're in second or third place, but it's better than not being in second or third place, right? So let's get to the proceedings this evening. We always start with the winners. To the victors go the spoils. Smack City went 11-5. Let's double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that put him at a 121-59 on the season. Soul, who was 1 game back a week ago after really turning up the heat on Smack City, went 12-4. If you can do the math, Smack City went 11-5 and was up 1. Soul went 12-4, was down 1. He made up the 1 game, which means he's now 121-59 as well, tied for first place. So I think this is the first time Smack City hasn't been in first place by himself in about maybe 6 or 7 weeks. So now he's got some company. We'll see what happens now that they're knotted up at 121-59 apiece. I will say, and I've been very adamant about this, don't miss out on picks or your sheets because you didn't get it in on time. I can't stress this enough. I'm not going to keep repeating myself, okay? I'm not your father. I'm not going to keep telling you the same stuff over and over again. I'm just going to make mention of this and we're going to move on. Soul could have been in first place. I don't know who he picked in the Eagles-Bills game, right? But I said this specifically last week. I said it's an early week. It's going to be a little different. Get your picks in. A lot of people clearly didn't watch the video, which is fine, but they didn't get their stuff in on time. They showed up like it was a normal week, disregarding the fact that we had Thanksgiving games that started at noon and showed up thinking, oh, well, you know, it's closed. Yeah, we got football games on at 12 o'clock, not 8 o'clock at night. So people didn't get their stuff in on time, and he had to submit his picks to me via email. And I'm a softie. I talk all this shit about you don't send me your picks, but I don't want to screw anybody, right? If I got downtime, I'm gonna put your picks in. I'm not gonna be an asshole, right? But he didn't send in because he had to do it himself. This is what happens. This is called human error because he had to do it himself. He forgot a pick. So he lost a game that he didn't necessarily have to lose. Again, I don't know if he was picking the Eagles or the Bills, but if he was picking the Eagles, he didn't have to lose that game. He could be up one right now. And if he doesn't win by a game, just come back to week 12 when he didn't submit his picks in on time and he had to do it himself and he forgot a pick. That's the shit that can get you beat. And this is all I'm going to say. Prioritize this, okay? We make time for the things that we deem important as human beings. If 1,220, I don't think this is 1,220. I think this is 14 something. If $1,400 isn't important to you when you only spent, what, 25? If $1,400 isn't important to you, fine. Don't worry about it. Don't prioritize it. But if $1,400 when you spent 25 is important to you, I think you'd put your picks in enough time so that you wouldn't have human error jump into the fray. And that's all I'm going to say. Soul and Smack City are now tied for first. JK Man 99, Kevin the PRF, and Coop are now all tied for second. JK 99 went, I think, 11-5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10-6. So that has him at 117-63. Kevin the PRF had a strong week, 1, 2, 3. I think 13-3 is going to be the high point for this week. And there were several people with 13-3 mark. That also landed him at 117-63. And then Coop is back in the top 3 after a couple weeks of being out of it, having spent most of the year and season in the top 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11-5 for Coop to land him at 117-63. So all of them are tied for second. And then Big Baller Blake, I think this is his first entry into the top 3 rather. Gridiron King, who was tied for third last week. And Jordan Jones, I think this might be his first entry into the top 3, if I'm not mistaken. And I said this a while back. Jordan Jones quietly is having a strong year, and it continues. He went, 11-5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 12-4, excuse me, which landed him at 116-64. Gridiron King, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Rough week for Gridiron King. That's telling you how well he's been doing, that he was able to lose 7, go 9-7, and still be in third place. And then, hold on, let me check that. That's pretty rough. 107. He went 9. Yeah, that's still 116-64. Just making sure. And then Big Baller Blake, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11-5, which got him to 116-64, which gets him tied for third. So, let's go through everyone's selections, see what everybody did. Silver V, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 12-4, that's a great week. And remember, keep in mind, we had 16 games in week 12. We always have a full slate on Thanksgiving weekend. No one has a bye week during week 12. No one ever has a bye week in week 12. Everyone plays on Thanksgiving weekend. So 12-4 for Silver V. Red Ball Manders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 and 6. Sundi, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 and 6. A lot of people, Daywalker, Nate P, 808 Skins fan, Chalupa, all of them. Some of them haven't been sending in picks, but Daywalker and Nate P have been sending in picks, and they just didn't get them in, right? So it's Stacks 410, in your gym. Again, people that have been sending in picks consistently all year just failed to send their picks in, and that sucks. But again, you got to be on it, knowing that Thanksgiving is a weird week. Twin D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 11-5 for Twin D. Mike Jink. So I think we had a 13-3 already, did we? No. Okay, Mike Jink definitely is a 13-3er this week. So that's going to make him a high point man. So we'll go ahead and light him up. And then his fiance, Tiffany, also. Look, like y'all were cheating off each other's paper, man. Hey, look. Ain't nothing wrong with cheating when you both got A's, okay? It only sucks when you're cheating off of somebody's paper and they got a D, all right? Don't do that. And Mike Jig had hit me up on Sunday. He was like, man, we both went 13-3, so I ain't make up no ground. It ain't about – this ain't a sprint. It's a marathon, right? It's not a sprint. Just stay close. Stay within striking distance. So – both of them put up some gaudy numbers in week number 12, and they'll both be a part of the high point performers of the weekend. Walt 260, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 and 6. Young Mello didn't get his picks in. Kevin the PRF, we already went through his sheet. He had a really good week. I think he might have went 13-3, right? Yeah, he's a high point man. We're going to go ahead and light you up. Put you in pink there, Kevin the PRF. Greg Giants 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11-5. Big Baller Blake, we already went through him. Boss Man has just been a struggle for him, man. I've been talking cold hard cash to him as if I'm killing it this year, but I'm doing better than you. And that's what I keep telling him. Like, you stinking it up, man. And I don't think he knows how bad I'm doing. So he's not too well versed in what I got going on, but it's still better than him regardless. Not by much. I think he went 10-6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anytime we watch games together, we always overanalyze what the other person did, because if we pick the opposite, now we're rooting so hard for that team to win so we can go, see, I told you so. Because as my wife calls us, we're right fighters, right? We have to be right. I get it from my dad. What can I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for me as well. So I went 10-6. And I just want to point this out on my 10-6. Don't really regret any of the 6 that I lost, but the one that hurts the most is Buffalo. I really thought I was doing something special with that one. And looking at all the Eagles that were selected, that would have been a big win for me. And I wanted it. I wanted it bad. And I didn't get it. So that one stuck out like a sore thumb for me. Anyway, Ricky D. Hustle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 11-5. J. Can-Man, we already went through his. Media Truth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. That's piss cup worthy in a week where you're not going to have too many people losing more than that. And see, he's got one where he didn't turn his picks in on time. He had to send me an email. He forgot one of them. See, this is what happens when you allow human error into the mix. Submit your picks in on time, people. And then there's Rich. Let's fast forward a week ago and take a look at Rich, who went 12-2 last week. I think it was 12-2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 12-2 last week. Was the high point man last week. Now you fast forward just a week, right? Let's see what Rich did this week. Won the weekly pick'em pool and everything last week. He cleaned up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Damn! 9. Let's count them one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I don't think anybody's beating that. Uh-oh. So Media Truth, you're off the hook. And Rich will take over the pissy duties. And boy, does life come at you fast, right? Rich jumped into the top 3 last week, was talking cold hard cash. Here's the thing. And Rich is my guy. I hate to do him like this. But I had a conversation with the football gods last week. All right. I only have one request when you play in the weekly pick'em pool and you win. I don't ask for much. Just give me a chance to win my money back. Rich doesn't play in the weekly pick'em pool often. I think that might have even been his first time. He jumped in, he won. Impressive stuff, right? And I always tell you, if you feel like you got a winning sheet, jump in. Cost you $7. You're not going to miss that. A lot of you spend that at Starbucks, right? Toss your sheet in there, see what happens. He did that last week. He won. And you know what he did? He took his money and he ran. He took his money and he ran. And I said, no, this mother effer did not. So you know what I did? I got on the phone with the football guys and I said, hey, did you see what this young punk just did? They was like, yeah, we got it. I said, you got it? He said, yeah, we got it. We'll take care of it. I said, all right, man, bet. That was the end of that. I didn't know the action would be that swift, though. I didn't know they were going to get my get back for me next week. Hey, Rich is going to be pissy this week. Ain't no way anybody lost 10 games. He might be sharing it. I don't know. 9 is pretty rough in a 16-game slate. He was this close to a Piss Cup Ultra. Anyway, I digress. And I bet Rich is probably MIA this week, probably missing in action. I don't blame him. Hey, moral of the story. If you win the weekly pick'em pool, just do the right thing. Like Spike Lee, do the right thing. Okay? Do the right thing. Bronco Kid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 9 and 7 for Bronco Kid. That's a rough week. And he had been doing really well, too. That was a rough one. Mike Lowry. 1, 2, 3, 4. 12 and 4. Really good week for Mike Lowry there. Commander E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 11 and 5 for Commander E. Let's go here with it. Major Tutty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Major Tutty. 10 and 6. Tyrant 78. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a good week for Tyrant 78. 12 and 4. Matthew Lynch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, I thought we were about to get a little freaky there. 7. So 9 and 7 for Matthew Lynch. 100 grand. He might have been one of the few people to pick Green Bay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So not bad. 11 and 5 for 100 grand. King of the North. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 9 and 7. So a rough go of it for King of the North. I think he was doing some good work too of late. That was a rough week. Big Time, who won the weekly pick'em pool. 1, 2, 3, 4. 12 and 4. We know that from what he did in the pick'em pool. So shout out to Big Time again for winning that. Navy Ramjet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 and 6 for Navy Ramjet. Billy Bronco. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 and 6 for Billy Bronco. Samuel Pando. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was probably going to be your best shot at getting off of the Piss Cup. Was hoping Sam got sloppy with the handles. No such luck. Not this week. All right. Mr. HTTR, 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 and 4. Nice week for Mr. HTTR. All right. Cody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 and 6 for Cody. HTTR Carson, 1, 2, 3, 4. Really good week, 12 and 4. Derek B, I think Derek B went 13 and 3, which would add him to the list of high point men for the week or high point participants. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Derek B was outstanding this week. Shout out to Derek B for putting in work. Juice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 and 6 for Juice. Bet the board, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 and 5 for Bet the board. Smack City, we went through that already. Gridiron King went through him already. Metaphor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 and 6. Could have been 11 and 5 if he got his picks in. Probably would have picked Detroit anyway, so it don't matter. Hype do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. We might have some company. You might have some company, Rich. You might. I think somebody knocking at the door, Rich. Hold on. I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, Rich. He's knocking at the door. You open it up. He's like, oh, wrong house. My fault. Wrong house. He had 8. Sorry, Rich. That was your last shot. So it went through him already. Rick the Ruler, 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 11 and 5 for Rick the Ruler. And Jordan Jones went through his picks already. And Dandrix, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 9 and 7 for Dandrix. So, as you can see, Derek B, Mike Jink, Tiffany, and Kevin, the PRF, are high point performers of the week. Shout out to all of them for going 13 and 3. And Rich, my man, hated to do this to you, but you didn't follow the rules. All right. I don't ask for much, man. I'm a simple man. Okay. Look, all I ask is that if you win the weekly pick'em pool, just give me a chance to win my money back. That's it. I would never do it to you, right? Do unto others as you would like them to do to you. And because you broke the golden rule, you must get the golden shower. Step forth. Take a knee. You know how this works. We got a fat ass goblet for you of golden rot piss. And it stinks. Go ahead. Give it a little snifferoo. All right. Get your stomach kind of prepared, your gullet, all of that. Get your senses all in line to know what is coming down the pipe. And you can go after it at your own leisurely pace. We got a little bit of time. I'll come back and check on you in a bit. All right. So, with that said, all the sheets are out. Get your sheets in on time. I will say that this week, the sheets were a little tardy. That's on me. Sheets need to be out by Tuesday. They were out on Wednesday this week. That's a me problem, not a you problem. But it is Wednesday, and you still have the rest of today, all of tomorrow. Get your sheets in, people, okay? 3 participants left in the survivor pool. Do not drop the ball and not get your sheet in, okay? Please. You've come too far. All right? Let's get to the comment section real quick. And let's see. Soul Hughes. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Soul writes, Lou, you came clutch seeing my email. I hope I put it in the right order and didn't make it hard on you. I got home, laid back, and said, oh, ish, the weekly pick'em. Can't believe I left out the Eagles. It's all good. You could be in first place right now. And like I said, I don't know if I'd be able to forgive myself if I were in your shoes and I lost this thing by a game. That this week 12 game, and again, I don't know, you could have been picking Buffalo and it wouldn't have made a difference, right? It would have been inconsequential. But if you were picking Philadelphia, you could have been up one right now in sole possession of first place. But that's nor here nor there. Let this be a lesson to you moving forward. Get your picks in, okay? Yeah, I know last week was a bit of a janky week. Still, get your picks in, all right? But again, I try to use scare tactics, right? Sometimes, now, I'm not bullshitting you. If you catch me on the wrong week, shit's not going well on my neck of the woods, and I'm dog tired or I just don't feel like it, and you don't follow the rules, it is what it is, right? And you can't be mad because I've already let y'all know what it is. But it was Thanksgiving weekend. I was sitting around. I was like, let me get these emails. I got a bunch of emails because I knew it was going to happen because the kind of week it was. Let me get these picks in here, man. So it's all good. Jordan Jones, no doubt. I got you, bro. Make sure you're getting your picks in. You normally get your picks in on time, so make sure you get your picks in now. Red Ball Mander says, I'm going out swinging. I'm going down with the teams that I want to win. I got to go dangerous. We're getting to that point, and, I looked at my standings, and I thought I was further away from the top. I mean, look, I'm 12 games out, so my chances are slim and none now. I mean, if this were, the actual NFL and I was a team, I'd be in the hunt category all the way at the very bottom where you go, as a fan of that team, why are we even there? We're not going to the playoffs. We're not in the hunt. That's kind of where I am. I'm like at the very bottom, hanging on by a thread. Not quite mathematically eliminated yet, but I'm dangerously close. I got to get on my horse right now, though. There's still 6 weeks left. On average, I've got to be making up 2 games, games a week in order to make this thing happen. But I already have come to grips. I think in my mind, I had to come to the realization I wasn't going to win. I think that happened at about week 10, I think. I think I put in the best sheet I thought I put in all year long, and shit just didn't go my way. Like, I lost, I think, 3 games at the gun in week 10. And that's when I knew, like, this ain't going to be my year. It happened again with the Eagles and Bills game, right? I mean, what can you do? At this point, I don't want to, I wouldn't encourage you to just pick anything because there's still a goal, right? I always tell people, you want to be over 62%. If you're below 62%, you did a pretty terrible job at picking winners this year, right? I've never been below 62%. And I've been close. I've had years where I've been at like 63.7% or some foolishness like that. And I'm like, phew, it was a rough year. But if you start going off the rails trying to catch people, you sometimes make it worse. Almost like in gambling, when you're down and you try to, bet big to get back, don't go chasing your losses because you could only make it worse and start digging yourself an even deeper hole. Do the smart thing, and if you feel like there's a game or two that could be a swing game, go for it. Smack City says, that Vikings game killed me. It did, because there were a number of people who picked the Bears. Especially, I think Soul picked the Bears too. But so many people picked the Vikings. Those kind of games don't necessarily move the needle all that much because most people are taking the L with you. But in this particular case, because the guy that's the closest to you, the participant and the player that's closest to you picked the Bears, that one did sting in particular. Yes, it did. Mike Jink, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Mike Jink, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, writes, word to Prime, I'm coming. Pause. Go Birds. We're going to see about that. That 13-3, look, that was pretty damn impressive. And if you're going to put people on notice, that's how you do it. All I ask is that you don't be like Prime, right? And now the bottom falls out of your sheets, right? In your season. Like, understand that Prime said that they may have won one more game, maybe two, and then they lost like 9 out of their last 10. So I hope you're not going in that direction. Anyway, I digress. Hey, Rich, how you coming, bro? Yeah, I know, man. It's tough. I get it. All I can say to you is next time, respect my shit. That's it. There's rules and parameters to this, man. Just follow the rules. So that's what's wrong with y'all young cats today, right? Y'all want to do what y'all want to do. Okay? I don't want to hear nothing. Just keep drinking, man. Keep drinking up. Mr. HTTR, thank you for being a member of the MOBB for 11 months. Who writes, these pick pools are all I got now. 13-0 this week. You and me both, brother. You and me both. And the sad part is I ain't close to winning nothing. That's the weekly pick 'em is all I got left. Like literally, which is why I wanted it so bad last week. All right. I don't have nothing else. I don't got nothing else. All right. We about to get out of here. Get your picks in. Rich, you got a lot left there, bro. Come on, man. Go ahead. How about this? I'll drink with you. Now, this is water, okay? But I'll drink with you, okay? Here we go. Come on. Come on. You got it. Yeah, there you go, man. I knew you could do it. All right, man. Get out of here. Don't let it happen again, okay? That's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on the latest installment of the Louie T Network Exclusives. Kickback, week 13. Look forward to chopping it up with you guys again in week 14. We'll see if fortunes have changed. And again, as Rich can attest to, life comes at you fast, man. High point performer the week prior, piss cup sipper the next week. Be careful, man. And remember, if your picks ain't shit, you're drinking piss. I'll see you guys next time. You already know. Have a good one.